Hello everyone and welcome to this video. This is going to be a vinyl update video, sort of Christmas update kind of thing. It has been a good wee while since I've done a vinyl update video, at least about 2 months now. So yeah, I've got quite a bit to show. I think it will be quite a long-ish video this one here. Quite a lot of variety as well, some new releases, different used record finds, some new stuff, and also a CD box set which I'll show at the end of the video. But first, I'll just go through some of the music-related items which I received for Christmas this year. Got quite a few books, actually. First one is a Elvis Costello autobiography called Unfaithful Music. I have heard really good things about this book. I haven't started reading it yet, because I really haven't had much time on my hands. But yeah, I do look forward to giving this a read. There's sort of few pictures in it and stuff, but it is mostly just an autobiography by Elvis Costello about his life. Another one I got from my parents was a Smith's biography by a guy called Tony Fletcher called A Light That Never Goes Out. This, I have heard also great things about this book. Very long as well, about 700 pages I think this is. So yeah, I really look forward to delving into this this book here, the Smiths A Light That Never Goes Out. I also asked for a couple of these guitar chord books because of some of I do play guitar, and these are great. I got one on The Who, Little Black Songbook, great little brand this year, just as the songs laid out in sort of chord format, which is great. So I got one on The Who, Oasis, and David Bowie here. So this isn't complete catalogues, but it has most of their most well-known songs. So yeah, these are really great for me playing guitar. Then also from my parents, I got this DVD, Oasis Supersonic, the documentary what came out a couple of years ago. Absolutely fantastic watch. I would definitely recommend watching it. I think it's on Netflix and Amazon Prime as well, so definitely worth a watch if you are a Oasis fan. It really does just focus on the glory years from, let's say, 1993 to about 1996. It doesn't really go over the more later albums, but it is still a really fantastic watch there. And then just a little random thing they got me as well is this little box with the Smiths on it, but with the Smiths on it, but it isn't just that, because inside there is these kind of coasters, little plastic coasters which look sort of record labels from the songs, and they actually are the songs and that on it, which is really cool. So yeah, these are great. Just a little thing. And the other thing we got, which I'm not going to show in great detail here, was this David Bowie box set, A New Career in a New Town, which I've done a completely separate video on this, so I will link that in the description. Absolutely brilliant box set. And then my grandparents got me this, which is Jeff Lynne's ELO, Wembley or Bust, the concert film that came out in November. This is absolutely fantastic. This is the little deluxe edition version, so you get 2 CDs plus the DVD. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I'm not too fussed about the CDs. Had they just released it as a standalone DVD, I would have just got that. But this one here, you had to get the CDs to get the DVD, and the concert film, beautifully filmed, really entertaining watch. And I probably prefer this to the Hyde Park concert, just because the set list is a bit more varied slightly. He does songs Standing in the Rain, Last Train to London, Xanadu, stuff he doesn't normally do live. So that's a good song. But then again, Jeff Lynne doesn't normally perform live. It's only recently he has started touring again. So yeah, that's a fantastic concert film. Okay, so now a couple of things which I got from my good friend James Lobban. First one is a CD called Total, the best of Joy Division and New Order. So this kind of has songs from both bands on it. You get, I think, 6 Joy Division tracks, and the rest is New Order. So I know some songs from both bands. I'm not a massive fan of either one, but I do like what I know. This is a little booklet in it, and just the usual fare, with a CD, just a wee sort of call that thing, and I could do like look forward to like listening to like some of like these tracks here. So yeah, great present there from James Lobban. He also got me 2 new releases from 2017, which I have shown these like in like my roundup video, like my ranking for like the albums from 2017. So I'll just quickly show them now. This is Real Estate, an album called In Mind. Very, very good album here. Yeah, like I won't bother showing like the packaging to it, like I've already shown it before. And the other one was by a group called Ride here, like a slightly like older band like from like the late 80s, early 90s. This was sort of like a big like comeback like album like for them, like they've been split up like for years, and like this is a fantastic record. Some songs like on it like Charm of Soul, All I Want, Rocket Silver Symphony. I mean, it is a great album here. They're sort of gatefold to it as well, and the records are just in, I think they're just in plain sleeves, but like you do get like a lyric insert with a picture like of the group. Other sort of like Oasis connection like with this album here. I think the bassist in this band, a guy called Andy Bell, like joined like Oasis like after I think Gwigsy like left like the group in the late 90s, I think. So like since like Oasis split up, like Rides like were able to get back together and make that very, very great album, Weather Diaries. Okay, so sticking with like the new releases, like I've got like a couple more like from like the last 2 months. Like normally like I would show these like towards the end, like off like the vinyl update, but since I have already shown these like on like my 2017 ranking video, I just thought that I would get them like over and done with now. So first one is Noel Gallagher's new record, Who Built the Moon, got the CD and the vinyl picture disc version. So like I've done like a separate review like on this, so like if like want to see more of that, go over there. Also, since filming my review, I ended up buying the 12-inch single to Holy Mountain here, which I got mostly for the B-side, which is song Dead in the Water, which you don't get like with the vinyl. And this just comes in a plain black inner sleeve, and the record looks like that. You can also get this one like on a picture disc, but like I believe like it's sold out like a good like while back. So yeah, Noel Gallagher's Holy Mountain, and like also the album Who Built the Moon, certainly one of my favourite releases from last year. And then another record that came out in November was Morrissey's latest album, Low in High School here, which I will just quickly show this one. This is the clear vinyl version, although I don't think it was ever pressed on like a black vinyl. Like I think like you get clear and like I see green as well, but like I've never seen like a black vinyl version like of it so far. This like the actual quality like of the pressing like and like the packaging like is really nice. It's sort of slightly glossy like embossed text, which is really cool. The gatefold looks like this here. Still not a fan like off like the cover though. And the record sleeve looks like that. You just get like the label and a picture of Moz on that side. And yeah, the clear vinyl here looks like this. So this wasn't one of my favourite new releases. There were some good standout tracks such as I Wish You Lonely, Spent the Day in Bed, and I quite like the song that When You Open Your Legs as well. But there is a little bit filler like on here, and like it does go on for quite a while, like it's about sort of 55 minutes like this album, so quite on like the long side. But yeah, it is still like always nice to get something new from Morrissey. Okay, so now on to a few CDs which I've picked up like over the last couple of months. First one is David Bowie one, Hunky Dory, like on CD. No real like explaining to do here. I just fancy getting this one like on CD. This is a 2015 remastered version. So yeah, like it is like quite nice, like the packaging to this one there, like lots of pictures like of him, and it is a fantastic record. So that's Hunky Dory. And then I got this one as well, mostly because like the vinyl version doesn't come like with a download code, and download code, like, and I really wanted this record like on like my iPod, so I just thought why not get the CD, like it's cheap enough. Noel Gallagher's first solo record, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds here. This is a good record, although it is probably my least favourite like Noel Gallagher solo album like thus far. Like he's put out like 3 like solo records. Like there are some brilliant songs like If I Had a Gun, What a Life, Broken Arrow. There are some great tracks, but like also like a little bit like off like filler like on like there as well. And then I picked this one up a bit more recently, like in like the HMV sale, which I was quite surprised that this was part of it, because it is still like a new release like from I think December, like it was like issued, but like, I got this one like very cheaply. It's Tears for Fears Rule the World, like the greatest hits collection here, like what recently came out. Like basically like this just does like what it says like on the tin. like all of Tears for Fears, like most well known, like most well loved songs. Although there are some, like towards the end, there are some more like obscure tracks, like I think from like towards the end, like of their career, like when like Kurt Smith left the band and like it was just Roland like sort of like captain like the ship and that. So yeah, like it will be interesting to hear like some of like those later songs which like I'm not as familiar with. And then another greatest hits CD collection which I got was this one here, Echo and the Bunnymen. This was called Ballyhoo, strange title there, like the best of Echo and the Bunnymen. You get 18 tracks kind of going from like the late 70s stuff through to like the mid 80s height like off them, and like I like really loved this. Like I don't think like there's a weak track like on this collection. I'd be looking to get more of their stuff like on vinyl because I've only got Ocean Rain like at the moment, but like it is like a little bit like harder to find, so hopefully like in like the next couple of like vinyl updates like you will see more of Echo and the Bunnymen. And now a album which I've really been listening to like a lot recently. Like I've got like the vinyl like from like it was from like my uncle's collection, but like I didn't really like listen to it for about like a good like year or so. But like I just so happened to hear like one of like the band's songs like on like the radio, and I kind of just remembered like how like good it was. It's an album by Aztec Camera called Highland Hard Rain. They're like a Scottish band, like I believe from East Kilbride, and like this is like the first record like which they made in 1983. This is like a little deluxe CD version like so you get like a wee book with it, and like also some bonus tracks, just like the CD, like in like the back, just looks like that there. And like yeah, amazing album here. You might know a song like Oblivious, which was a minor hit for them, like in like 1983. Like there's other songs like Walk Out to Winter, Pillar to Post, We Could Send Letters, just amazing stuff. And like also like the lead singer, like main songwriter, a guy called, I think it's Roddy Frame, was only about 18 like when he wrote like these songs, so like younger than myself. So absolutely fantastic talent there. Aztec Camera, Highland Hard Rain. Okay, so now on to the vinyl records. First one I got at a concert which I was at like last month. I saw the Charlatans in Glasgow, which is a fantastic concert. Like I will put like a bit of footage like in like after like I've shown this, but I didn't like have like any t-shirts like which like I fancied like or like a tour program, so like instead I bought this, which is a 12-inch single to the song Not Forgotten from like the new album Different Days. Packaging to this though is quite poor. You basically just get like the picture disc, or like the picture disc like all like the vinyl there, and like basically like a piece of paper with nothing like on the back of it. But it was a brilliant concert, and they were great live. I will put in a little bit like of footage now. Like I didn't get like an awful lot, like certainly like not enough to do like a fully blown like concert review, but like yeah, I just wanted to put in like a bit of footage like now like from the concert. So yeah, like it was a brilliant show. There's my ticket, like in like the back there, the Charlatans live in Glasgow, and like also like the new record Different Days, one of the best like from 2017. Okay, now these ones aren't in any real like particular order. The first one I got yesterday. Like actually, like it is like it is like another 12-inch single, so like just like wanted to show this one first. It's a Paul Weller one for the song Out of the Sinking. Now very rarely do I see like original Paul Weller like albums like or singles, like, but when I do and like they are like sensibly priced, like I always tend to pick them up, and like this was like no exception here. This is the original pressing, what came out in 1994, because this song like it was like reissued like after Stanley Road became like such a big like hit album like for Weller. On the B-sides to this, you get a cover like of the Beatles song Sexy Sadie, which Weller does a great version of that, and a remix of the song Sunflower. So yeah, there's the 12-inch single for Out of the Sinking. This is in lovely, lovely condition. So yeah, like very glad I found this one yesterday when I was record shopping in Edinburgh. The next album, I have seen quite a few people like in like the VC like talking like about it. Like I've got like the band's debut record, which I really loved. Really loved. Like this is like the second album by them though. I think the second might be the third, I'm not sure. It's Candio by The Cars here. Now like the first album like has hits on it such as My Best Friend's Guild, Just What I Needed, like a lot of brilliant tracks. This one I don't think I know like any of the songs, like certainly just by like looking like out like the track listing, but like I might know them like when I hear them. And like this was quite a cheap pickup, so yeah, I just thought that I would get this album. There's the inner sleeve, and this is on Elektra Records, I think that's how like you say it there. So nice copy here like off the Cars Candio album. The next one I kind of just like saw and like picked up like by chance. Like I'd seen a recent video like from James Griffiths, the vinyl professor, like where like I think he was talking about albums which you didn't want your parents like to hear like you're listening to, and like this is a record like which is shown, and like I saw it like for very cheap price, like, and I just thought like I might as well like give it a go, try it out. It's a band called The Motors, and I think this is their second album called Approved by The Motors. So yeah, like this is like funny packaging of this. It opens like from the top there, and I don't know any like off like the tracks like from here, although I think I might know the song Airport. I think that was a hit single like in like the late 70s. But like, this is kind of like sort of like new wave pub rock kind of thing, like sort of Squeeze sort of style like the stuff. So it's sort of stuff I think I will know that I like on the Virgin Records label here. So like this was like another like very cheap pickup like from when I was shopping like in Edinburgh yesterday. The next album is also by a band which James Griffiths like I've been talking about recently. It is this one which I found, XTC's album English Settlement here. So James done a video recently on I think the secondary songwriter like in the band called Colin Moulding, which like yeah sort of like inspired like me to like check out like some of like the stuff, although like I did like already know the song Tenses Working Overtime, which is on this record, which is a fantastic song, like one of my favourite tracks like, from the 80s there. This is a double record set which I got for quite like a reasonable price, and like yeah, like I will admit it isn't in greatest shape, this record, quite a lot of ring wear on it, but it does have the original sleeves with it though, which is lovely, and the records themselves play like absolutely fine. Like I really just like loved like so many songs like on like this album. Like there's a lot of tracks, but like it doesn't like drag on like a lot like all the double albums do. Some like of my favourites were like, well, Senses Working Overtime, Jason and the Argonauts, Leisure, Fly on the Wall. So yeah, there's so many great tracks like on here. So certainly worth like picking up like this album here from 1982. This one came out. The next one I got from a record fair like just before Christmas, a record by Blondie which I was missing. It is Plastic Letters here, their second album from I think 1977 this one came out. And like I played this one yesterday and like actually quite liked it. Like I mean it isn't like anything near like as good like as Parallel Lines, like, but I thought it was a solid album from them. Songs like I'm Always Touched by Your Presence, Dear, and what other ones did I like for the I didn't have nerve to say no, no imagination. Yeah, there's some like good tracks I got here, like, but certainly one which I do need to give a little bit more like attention to. There's the record label there, just on the usual Chrysalis Records, but like no like custom like inner sleeve for this one. Not sure like if like original copies like ever did come with a fancy like inner sleeve design. And then also notably like as well, like this is like when Blondie like was down to like a 4-piece. Like they started off like as a 5-piece, went to 4-piece for this record, and then like got like an extra member for Parallel Lines, like the album after this. So yeah, like a good record here from Blondie, Plastic Letters. And then I also found this one like at like the same record fair, which I was quite surprised to see. And like normally like I wouldn't buy like stuff like from like this band, like they aren't like one of like my favourite groups. But this record, like I had a feeling that like it was like quite rare, and like also like a bit of and like also like a bit of like a steal, like considering like the price as well. It was the Beach Boys album Smiley Smile here. So this album does have a bit of like a reputation like as being like a lost classic, like it was supposed to be like the grand follow-up to Pet Sam's, like whether like it never like got fully realised like at like the time, and like this is kind of like what was released like and like was seen like as a bit of like a disappointment really. And like certainly like you can tell like listening to it, like because they are very rough and ready, like these ones, they are very sort of lo-fi like style songs here. Although it does still have like tracks like Good Vibrations on it, Heroes and Villains like is very good, and like also the song Vegetables features I think Paul McCartney like chewing some celery. As far as I know, this is a completely original UK mono copy of it. Like you've got the flip backs like on it, sort of like the glossy cover. So yeah, like this was like a real steal. And like the record like isn't in too bad shape. It isn't perfect, like, but it isn't like awful like either. Just on like the Capital Rainbow label there. So yeah, quite glad to pick this one up here, like for a very like reasonable price, I have to say, like from a recent record fair, the Beach Boys Smiley Smile. And now the next one is another 60s record, which is a online purchase. Like I got this one. I've seen quite a few people like in the VC like talking like about like this guy, and like kind of saying like it's like the record which Paul McCartney should have made like when like he like left the Beatles. It's this record here by a guy called Emmett Rhodes. I believe this is a self-titled album by him. I think his first record like which he made in 1968. And this is completely self-recorded. Like he made this like at home, like in his own studio, like playing like all the instruments like himself. And like these are just great, like melodic, like very like McCartney-esque, like pop songs really. Like and I certainly get like why people say like this is the album like which McCartney like could have been here. This is a original pressing, which I think like is slightly rarer. Like it's got a kind of sort of textured cover on it. This is on a label called Probe Records, which I'll just quickly show now. So yeah, a great record here by Emmett Rhodes, like a sort of like a VC like discovery, like if like you will for me. The next album I got in Edinburgh yesterday, kind of like another like addition like to my ever-growing David Bowie collection. This is one which I was missing. It is Never Let Me Down, and like I got this for £5, which is a great price like for like a Bowie record. Certainly condition like off like the sleeve is great. The vinyl is a little bit scuffed, but like I get the feeling that this is like a record which I'm not going to play like all that often because it is considered Bowie's worst album. Recorded and like released in 1987, so like he was kind of like this was like just before like he went and like done like Tin Machine and like all like his 90s stuff like just after like the Tonight records. And yeah, there are quite a few scratches on it. Hopefully they're just surface marks and like don't affect like the play, like, but I've got a feeling like that like they might do, like considering like it was only like £5 like for like a Bowie record like in 2017, like it's an absolute bargain. But like yeah, just one like I needed like for the collection, Never Let Me Down. Okay, now the next one is a bootleg album which I found like in like the record shop like in Edinburgh, which I go to. It's a Oasis one called Acoustic Glory here. Now this is a collection like of early like radio sessions, like sort of like acoustic stripped back songs, and like I love Oasis because the songs, they sound so good like when it is like just like either like Noel or Liam like with just like a like acoustic guitar like and something, and like the track listing to this like is like stunning. Like you get like sort of like all like the early hits like on it, but like sort of like alternate versions like of them, which is great. They also do a version like of Talk Tonight which features Paul Weller like on it, and like the Beatles cover You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. quite basic sort of like bootleg packaging to this. It isn't on like any fancy coloured vinyl, like, but the sound quality to this like is like pretty good, like I think. So yeah, Oasis, an album here called Acoustic Glory. Now the next one I actually got in Sainsbury's, like of all places. Like Sainsbury's like is like a British supermarket, which is I think about like a year ago they started stocking vinyl, like, but it was quite a limited range, and like it just so happened to be in like recently, and like I was quite surprised at how much they actually had, and like also how much variety like as well. I ended up picking this album up from there, The Very Best of Morrissey, basically just like a hits collection, like off like his most well-known stuff, like non-album singles and the like. So yeah, sort of like nice design to this one here, sort of like a glossy cover, like it looks like an older style record, like is what it's supposed to look like, I think. Unfortunately this is a double record, like, but it is all cramped in to like a single sleeve, which I know like will really like annoy like Ben Simpson, like one of the things he said like he doesn't like about vinyl collecting. Nice like in his sleeves though, and this is on a label called Major Minor. Not heard of them like myself, to be honest with you. So yeah, like a good compilation. They're like just as like his most well known and best solo tracks on it. Okay, so now the second to last vinyl I got was this one here, which I got in HMV, and like for a great price. I think about £8 this cost, because like I'm like HMV member, like, so like this was like a kind of like exclusive offer one, which I'd seen. It is U2. It's called 18 Singles here, which basically just has 18 like off like their most well known best songs on it. So like I couldn't pass this up like for £8, seriously. It's a double record this, and the packaging is really nice. So you get the front of it there, just like you get two like inner sleeves, which actually don't fit in like with like the records, which is a little bit bad, but hey, like I'm glad that like they included them though. Get the two records, which themselves look like, if it will come out, that is, just look like this, and just have a nice picture like on each side, or like one side and then like a picture like on the other, and I'll just pop that away afterwards. But you also get a great big thick book with this, which I love. It has kind of single artwork, lyrics to the songs, which is great. And like U2, they are a really great band, like, but for me, like, they're not one which I'm wanting to start like a massive like collection of. Like, I really like the early 80s stuff like War and like The Unforgettable Fire, like those records, but like I don't really want to start like a full collection like off like all like the 90s stuff. So this will be like a good place to kind of summarise like all of like their best, like most well-known songs here. Okay, now the last record before I take a look at the CD box set which I got is this record, which I got like in like the HMV like Boxing Day, like sort of like post-Christmas sale. It is the Rolling Stones album Exile on Main Street. Now, like, if you know me, I'm not the biggest Stones fan. Like, I kind of like can just like live like with the singles, like, but this one like was so cheap, I just thought, why not pick it up, give it a try, see if I like it. And honestly, this was probably my favourite Stones record, like so far. Like, I know like Let It Bleed, Aftermath, Beggar's Banquet. This one, like, I didn't like expect to like it like as much like as I actually did. I just thought that it really like rocked this album. Just like a really great listen. Comes in like these nice like inner sleeves here, like sort of nice printed ones. And the record labels are just on like, I think this is a 2003 reissue. I think it goes back that, oh no, 2010. But like it is on like the Rolling Stones own, like Rolling Stones Records label here. So yeah, like very, very glad I could pick this one up. Like otherwise like I probably like wouldn't like have ever like listened to this album like in full. But yeah, a great record here like from the Stones, Exile on Main Street. Okay, so now for the CD box set. Now, I got this one at the record fair, like the same fair like I got the Beach Boys Smiley Smile and the Blondie record from. I saw this and like it was such a good price, I just thought, why not buy it? Like, it is pre-owned, like, but it is in lovely condition. It is the Jam box set, Direction, Reaction, Creation, and basically this is a 5 CD box set which has the whole like back catalogue like in it. Like over like 5 CDs here, so it just like the lid comes off it like so. I think this is from the late 90s, so it looks like this. You get a long book in it which has sort of write up like about the Jam, like lots of pictures in it, and like also what I quite like, a wee tour diary as well, which is really cool, like all of like the shows they ever played. The CDs just look like so here, and like each one like is like individually individually packaged, all have like their own wee cover, like their own little gatefold. And so, yeah, basically it just goes through like the Jam's like whole career. So on this you have songs from In the City, and This Is the Modern World. On this one here, which is CD2, you get stuff from Old Mod Cons and like the non-album singles from the time, Strange Town, When You're Young. Disc 3 has sound effects and Setting Sun's material like on it. CD4 has stuff from The Gift, like and like their final singles, and that I got it. Like all the CDs like look the same, like they're all different colours though, which is quite nice. So yeah, like sort of like the last singles I got it here. And then CD5, which is probably my favourite, has demos and stuff, and like also like a lot of like really great covers as well. Like sort of demos and like that, like from like throughout like the whole career though. So like you do, so like here like well, they're doing versions like of the Kinks' Dead End Street, Rain by the Beatles, Stand By Me, and like also like even like an early version like of the Style Council's A Solid Bond in Your Heart. So yeah, fantastic collection this, like all for like a really great, really great price. Very glad I found this one. The Jam Direction, Reaction, Creation, like always get like the order like of them wrong with that. So yeah, that is this vinyl update done. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Like if like you'd like to see me review like any of like these records, like please do leave them down below, like in like the comments. Like it might be like a while like before like I actually like get around to doing them, because I will be starting like uni again like in like about like a week or so. So yeah, like I will get like a lot more sort of busier like as time goes on. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.